Hey guys, welcome to the basement, where I've been hard at work. Look, I gotta put it out there right now. I'm trying so hard to upload these things regularly. The fuck do you mean it's been 5 months already? Look, I know the upload gap is kind of insane, and it's also very unoriginal because I think every game developer YouTuber has had this thing where they just don't upload for 6 months and then be like, hey guys, I'm back. I was busy, but that's exactly what happened. This video is true, by the way. So in the last video, I talked about the tutorial level and the feedback I got from a veteran game designer. You can already tell there was much more things done around that time because the footage kind of showed a whole lot of stuff. He said that Deltarune has a very strong visual identity
Did you see it? A Steph pans her camera by the open
that I just never mentioned. This will happen again. Also, speaking of that video, I'm not actually keeping the tutorial level. I'd prefer to just teach the player the mechanics in an actual level as opposed to a completely separate one. I should probably start the actual video now. Yeah, I know, finally, right? By the way, they're called fragments. Now, I've already kind of talked about the very simple behavior of the fragments. I basically just said that they kind of roam around for a bit and then they spot you, then they follow you. But that's kind of a lie because there's a little bit more to them than that. Technically, there are 3 states the fragments can be in. One is the roam, where it basically gets a random point around its patrol area, which is where it spawns, and then it walks over there, waits a little bit, and then just repeats that cycle. Next is the chase, which, as it's literally called, chases you, which is basically just setting its destination to Penny, and it kind of just chases you. But if it loses sight for long enough, then it'll enter the search state, which basically stops updating Penny's position and just goes to where it last saw her, and then it'll stay there, wait a bit, and then just go back to its roam state. But the thing is, this game's a platformer. These guys don't know how to platform, meaning you could literally jump onto a slightly higher surface and they'll either try and path around where they can walk up, or they will just give up and cry or something. Actually getting the fragments to jump from platform to platform would be hard. Luckily for me, Unreal Engine 5 has some built-in stuff. A lot of it is insanely primitive and kind of works depending on what I want it to do. Although I still kind of need to sort out my own system, and well, it's getting there. Now, of course, just to talk about fragments as a concept, they have several different types to them, all of which fall under 2-ish categories. The free roaming fragments is basically the one that you've seen, where it kind of roams around and patrols, and if it sees you, it just gets really aggressive and tries to hurt you. As of right now, there's only one, but this is mainly to get the, behavior and stuff to work correctly before working on the other types. For example, an idea I had for a fragment is a fucking ankle biter. It'll crawl across the ground as just a torso and hands, and it'll swipe at you, and you kind of have to jump onto an elevated surface. I think that'd be really fucking horrifying, but also kind of funny. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. As well as a flying one, and if it spots you below it, it'll just continuously swoop you, and you have to get underneath something to then stop it. Pretty much the whole goal is to have each of the free roam fragments require their own strategy of sorts to actually lose the aggression on them, meaning you actually have to pay attention to the environment, not only for your momentum stuff, but also in order to get them to finally leave you the fuck alone. Now, the way free roam fragments spawn, basically every spawn point has its own criteria of what fragments it can spawn, which is basically just a dice roll, and if it rolls over this amount, then spawn one fragment. If it rolls under that, then spawn another one. Obviously, that's not how randomization would actually work, but it's kind of an example, really. Basically, this allows me to have the kind of RNG that I really like in games, where the RNG is kind of its own skill in and of itself, in the way that you have to quickly adapt to different fragments that could possibly spawn, while also giving me the control to make sure that the fragment that spawns in isn't too annoying for the area, which also adds the unpredictability of a lot of horror games.
Oh yeah. Oh, bye.
This is going to sound a little bit more underwhelming, but the second category, which I'm going to call the situational fragments, are basically these glorified obstacles, you could call them.
Holy shit!
I don't want to make that sound like these aren't that special, because they still are. It's more so an obstacle with a personality, if that makes any lick of sense.
Leon, get out of there!
Yes, ma'am.
It's that time again, huh? Subscribe or some bullshit. I don't know. Now, something a little less mechanically complex is the new animations. First of all, Penny's idol will now have her actually looking in the direction the camera's facing. Wasn't a whole lot of coding for this. In fact, there was none. Since they're 2D sprites, I can kind of just make them look like that. And also her board pose, basically with a short timer, if you don't press a button and you stand still, Penny will do a special animation. The current board pose I don't like, because it looks like she's mogging, and I'm not I'm not making that kind of game. You are not Gordon Freeman. As well as just some improvements for already existing animations, for example the run, where she actually moves her arms now, because I can finally be fucked animating her arms now, as well as a very rough jump and fall sprite, just so it looks somewhat normal in regular gameplay, so I can upload clips and stuff and it doesn't look fucking ass. But hey, that's what placeholders are for. Flashback to this placeholder graphic. Also, yeah, all the placeholders are still being made in MS Paint.
Wow, thanks! Jesus?
Yeah, there's really nothing to talk about here. I just made it so momentum of platforms is carried when you jump or walk off of it, so you can make Penny see God. That was the sound of me saluting. I'm not sure if you can you hear it? Bits. Look, I'm not really good with names. I know it's a little bit crazy that I'm revealing one of the major characters in this game in a devlog, and I'll be trying to avoid that, but it'll probably happen one more time. I don't really count this as much of a spoiler anyway, because you do know of his existence pretty early on into the game. Now, alongside Bits, I worked on the dialogue system. Basically, every interaction is a data table with the dialogue text, the portrait sprites, and that kind of thing. Now, I do kind of want to work with making the UI display above the characters, but then I don't get their cool portraits, and it makes me sad. But I just think it's really cool how much I can customize it, and how I can basically make an entire dialogue exchange in less than 5 minutes, provided I wrote the dialogue beforehand. Bits also has pathfinding, and how I make him move is just have these points around the map and I say, oh yeah, move to this point, and then he goes, go my son. He can also jump and stuff with the same navlink logic as the fragments, ironically enough, although they are special to Bits, so the fragments can't actually path there. Also, Bits kind of serves as a little reminder and confirmation that the area Penny and him are in is a guaranteed safe space, meaning you have downtime to save, read logs, or craft. I don't really have a segue into this. You know how a while ago I said the save system works, only sometimes when it felt like it? I found the problem. And just a side note, I need to move to the woods and create a settlement and live in solitude. Oh, I could do like solar panels. I could like plug it into a generator. What the fuck am I talking about? To describe the issue, I need to talk about how the save system worked before. Pretty much, you have the workbench, which is where you do most of your things. You basically overlap with the workbench, and then it saves the game for you, just so it's a little bit out of the way for the player to actually interact with it. Anyway, the issue was that sometimes when the game loaded with pre-existing save data, if you didn't save that and you loaded into the game to an old save, it would completely reset all of your progress. I tried for literal months to try and make it work, and it wasn't working. Turns out the issue was fucking insultingly simple. Basically, when the data loads, there's a singular tick, and in that tick, all of the variables that were supposed to be saved were their default values. Meaning, when the game reloaded, since it's on the overlap of the workbench to save the progress, it would save the default values when you load it into the game. I don't think you understand how much time I spent like trying to fix my programming. And you know what? It wasn't that. I'm just fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm glad I fixed it, because I think if this issue still occurred in the demo, I would probably never see anyone again, and I'd go to that village I was talking about.
What the fuck?
Wait, what? Why is there a book?
Guys, it's after me. It's after me. It's after me. It's after me.
What's it?
What the fuck is that?
So that's kind of it. I have 302, so it would help me out if you could subscribe, because I really want 1,000 subs by the end of the year. I think it would be pretty cool to support me. Here are the social stuff. Anyway, I know what you are, and I'll see you next time. Watch the other devlogs. Oh my